Welcome to Alaska Weather, a production of Alaska Public Media and the National Weather Service, Alaska Region. Produced and broadcast daily from the studios of KAKM, Alaska Weather provides complete forecasts, public, marine, and aviation for all of Alaska. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
Cook Inlet Tug and Barge, a marine transportation company specializing in harbor services focusing on the Port of Anchorage and the major commercial participants in the Cook Inlet region, providing customers with marine services specifically tailored to their needs.
The National Weather Service.
Hello again, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this Friday's edition of Alaska Weather. Up first here on the warning and advisory map, or the breakup map for May 8th here, not much change, still kind of a growing area of open water on the Yukon, and now some areas of some open water even upstream there, but this area due to the outflow of water coming in from the Tanana River, and again still some open down toward Ruby. Kuskokwim River looks mostly open about the entire stretch of the way there, and the Koyukuk has some areas of open water on it, now extending a little farther to the south than it did yesterday. And of course the Tanana just about all open except some open areas here farther upstream. Looking at the satellite imagery, we'll see the moisture coming up from the north, or heading northward here off the Gulf of Alaska. That's what brought all the rain into the North Gulf Coast today and in across south central Alaska and up into the Susitna Valley today up there, and just a lot of thick cirrus spreading north of the mountains there and across the Tanana Valley into the Koyukuk Valley areas, and kind of a breakout here to the west, but a couple of bands of showers, one right through here, another one right through that area, and just a lot of low clouds out here along the Bering Sea on the east side. There's some areas of fog up to the north, and then this system spreading the rain into the western Aleutians. Otherwise, it's a pretty fair day here. Some clouds up over the northern panhandle, but a lot of sunshine down to the south, and that allowed temperatures to rise into the lower 70s. Annette was up to 72 for the state's high today, and Klawock was right around 70 degrees during the afternoon hours tonight. And then this front back to the west here. There we go. You can see the next development down in this area here. That's going to be coming northeastward here. Another weak low was off Kodiak today, and those two will kind of merge up. This will move up into about the same place there, and so eventually that front will spread some rain into the southeast coast actually later on tonight, and it's going to keep it wet up along the North Gulf Coast. Rainfall amounts ranged from 1/4 of an inch in the Anchorage area, while up to the north Willow had about 1/3 of an inch, as did Talkeetna, with heavier amounts back along the western Alaska range, upwards of 1/2 an inch or even more. And the North Gulf Coast had the heaviest rainfall amounts, ranging from about 1/2 an inch at Yakutat to 3/4 of an inch in Kodiak, with Valdez getting over an inch of rain, Cordova having over 1.5 inches of rain, and Portage Valley picked up over 4 inches, 4.32 inches in the last 24 hours, all due to the moisture associated with this warm front streaming northwestward right into western Prince William Sound, and that's why they got the heaviest rain in that area, Whittier over to Portage Valley, and then the rain up into the Susitna Valley, heaviest again along the western valley there over toward the eastern slopes of the western Alaska range, both for western Cook Inlet as well. Then some scattered showers in this band right through here, another one back out here. Had some reports of rain and snow today at Kotzebue, mostly just scattered rain showers all the way down across the Killbuck Mountains to the Alaska Peninsula, and also the eastern Aleutians. A little bit of moisture early today over the Pribilof Islands, but nothing amounting to very much at all. Otherwise, just low clouds and fog out here over the Bering Sea. And there's that system that's mostly sliding by to the south, but close enough to bring some gale force winds into the central Aleutians along with rain and fog. And for tonight, that slips on over and spreads into Unmak Island there, Nikulski. Maybe on Alaska might get some rain late tonight, early tomorrow morning, but should stay southwest of the Pribilofs there, the main low back toward Adak and Atka. So the rain changing over to more of a showery condition there, and that'll extend back out toward the western Aleutians and around Shimei, where that weaker low system is. Only moisture over the interior appears to be a band of showers stretching from the eastern Brooks Range southwestward here to the eastern or just east of the Seward Peninsula. Look for some breaks in the clouds here along the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, Seward Peninsula on up maybe into the Noatak Valley, and also just variable clouds. A lot of mid and high level moisture here over the interior. And then this next system, that low tracking northward just off Kodiak Island, that'll spread the rain back into the east side of Kodiak Island. It's going to keep it wet up along the North Gulf Coast tonight. And then that front will spread some rain into the western portions of the Panhandle. And we'll see for tomorrow that front kind of weakens as it pushes eastward there with, there we go. Some occasional light rain up here to the north and just the trailing edge bringing some showers. So cooler conditions, definitely wetter tonight for the southern southeast coast, and kind of a showery, mostly cloudy day tomorrow. Looks pretty wet here for Kodiak Island with some showers or just outright periods of light rain and fog, and scattered showers over the south central Alaska regions there with an area of growing showers here along the Alaska Range, which tomorrow night will actually increase and shift up over the Tanana Valley and White Mountain areas, and so rain likely across the Tanana Valley tomorrow night, and then that'll kind of pivot back to the west over the Koyukuk on Sunday. But for tomorrow, high pressure over the Seward Peninsula, offshore wind flow, kind of a light northeast breeze there, so mostly sunny skies for the Norton Sound area all the way down the coastline to the Alaska Peninsula. Still a pretty good chance of some scattered showers in northeast Bristol Bay around King Salmon and the Naknek area, and also up over the northeastern part of the state, looking pretty good there. Fair up along the Arctic coast with high pressure, so light winds and areas of low clouds and fog. Wasn't too bad up there today, and probably won't be too bad up there tomorrow as well. And then that front comes across the Aleutians, so rain changing to showers there for the eastern Aleutians with scattered showers back toward Adak and Atka, and actually all the way back out to the western zone there. And then for Sunday, whatever's left of that low spread some showers back into the central areas there, with this front now bringing rain tomorrow night and through Sunday here for the Pribilof Islands. That will rotate up across the Alaska Peninsula. So look for a partly to mostly day there for the eastern Aleutians. Not bad here, dry, just variable clouds to the Bristol Bay area. Light winds over the southwest interior, and variable clouds here with light winds also for the Seward Peninsula, the northwest valleys. No change up there along the Arctic coast. Some of this moisture streaming northward may bring some showers to the eastern north slope areas, but this area right through here along the Koyukuk Valley, extending southward to the Alaska Range there, could have anywhere from 1/10 of an inch upwards half an inch of precipitation with it. So a pretty good area of rainfall here. They'll move across the Tanana Valley tomorrow night and then kind of pivot back around to something like this on Sunday. Either side of that shaded area there, pretty good conditions with some good sunshine here from the Kobuk Valley southward to the Delta is looking good, and to a lesser extent, but still probably the warmest temperatures occurring here over the eastern interior, and partly sunny with some isolated showers for the southeast coast as a remnants of that front shifts inland into Canada. Still low pressure here southeast of Kodiak Island, so that should spin in a chance of some showers, but not to the extent that you'll see tomorrow. So more scattered in nature, therefore, in fact, probably isolated for Sunday, which means could see some sunshine at times as well. North Gulf Coast, drier conditions, just some scattered showers remaining there, especially along the southern coast of the Kenai Peninsula, and up into western Prince William Sound. And moving on to temperatures along the southeast coast today, 69, these are 4 p.m. readings, 69 at Klawock with a 70-degree reading at Annette. They were 72. 61 at Wrangell, same thing at the state capitol today, 61 degrees. 50 degrees at Yakutat with clouds and rain. 52 over Cordova with, again, rain and 45 in Valdez, rain and 45 in Seward, 54 in Homer. Mid to upper 40s here across Kodiak Island. Up in the Copper River Basin, milder than the coast with 60 degrees at Gulkana, 64 and clear at Northway. Same thing at Delta, 64 degrees, same temperature, 61 at Fairbanks and a 59 reading there at Tanana. Fort Yukon had 63, while Bettles was at 57, 48 degrees at Anatuvik. Up along the Arctic coast, upper 20s to mid 30s with 28. The cool spot there at Barrow, actually over here at Cape Lisburne and Point Hope, they had 27 with 31 at Kivlina, 32 at Kotzebue, same thing there at Buckland, 28 at Shishmaref and Tin City, also at 28 degrees with clear skies, 37 at Nome, 39 at Golovin, and lower to mid-30s here along the southwest coast with 32 at Macoriac to 34 at Unalakleet. Interior valleys here, 53 at McGrath, 52 at Sleepnewton, and down to 39 out at Bethel. The 37-degree reading at Dillingham. Oh, actually that's 33 degrees. Mid to upper 30s here for the Pribilofs, upper 30s, lower 40s out over the entire stretch of the Aleutian chain there, except 45 in Unalaska. Upper 30s to upper 40s here across the Alaska Peninsula, depending on which side of the landmass you're on there. 48 at Chignik, actually 48 at Sand Point, 41 at Chignik, and then contrast that with 37 at Pilot Point. But King Salmon up to 53. Lows tonight, mid-40s here, south central Alaska, upper 30s to lower 40s through the Tanana Valley, and then upper 30s, lower 40s for the Koyukuk and Yukon Valley as well. Teens to lower 20s for the Arctic coast and North Slope areas, mid-20s back here in the northwest, and upper 20s down along the coastline there, milder inland, with lower 40s for the lows here for Bristol Bay. Mid-30s, mid to upper 30s for the Alaska Peninsula, upper 30s, lower 40s out in the Aleutians, and lows all in the 40s here across the Panhandle. Highs tomorrow, again, cooler down that way with the that weakening front moving into the area there. This looks like mostly 50s all the way down, so quite a bit cooler there over those southern areas tomorrow than what you saw today. And about the same here for the North Gulf Coast, upper 40s to lower 50s. The Sitna Valley could reach near 60 if the sun breaks out a little bit there. Upper 60s here over the eastern interior with upper 50s to lower 60s back down across along the Yukon and Kuskokwim River Valley areas, almost all the way out to the deltas there. Coolest conditions up along the Arctic coast, upper 20s to lower 30s there. And for flying weather, come on, don't die on me now. There we go. Looks IFR here for the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound. That next front coming up tonight, actually spreading IFR back in there tonight and keeping it up along the coastline tomorrow, Prince William Sound over to about Yakutat. Marginal VFR as that front moves through the southern portion, weakening quite a bit, so marginal VFR will break out to VFR late morning hours there over the central and southern southeast coast. And then the low pressure here, easterly flow, keeps IFR in across northeast Kodiak Island, Fognak Island, marginal VFR everywhere else down that way though. Marginal VFR also extending up along the western Alaska range, and the central and eastern Alaska range looks kind of marginal with patchy areas of IFR, especially down toward the Wrangell Mountain areas. And the Arctic coast, occasional marginal VFR, really not much change up there, what you've seen for the last couple of days with that extending down through the Bering Strait. But VFR here, Seward Norton Sound, along the southwest coast, more IFR into the eastern Aleutians, eventually pushing up toward the Pribilofs, and then a break behind the front, then some lower stuff back out there to the west. And passes for Anaktuvuk and Adigan both look VFR tomorrow, either approach, and for the, kind of got ahead of myself here, Adigan is VFR both north and south, and for the, there we go, Lake Clark and Merrill, marginal VFR, and for Rainy, marginal VFR in the eastern entrance, otherwise VFR, and for Windy, VFR north and south and through the pass. Isabel, look for marginal VFR conditions there. Mentasta, marginal VFR. There's a threat of some IFR in the northern entrance of Mentasta, and for Tanita, looks pretty good VFR either side. Portage, again, lowest conditions on the eastern entrance, IFR to possibly even low IFR, and hopefully marginal on the west side. Chilkoot and White, marginal VFR. Freezing levels at about 4,000 to 6,000 feet along the southeast coast, but up to 8,000 feet there over the east central interior, supporting the warmer surface temperatures tomorrow afternoon, and about 2,000 to 4,000 feet up stretching across the Arctic coast, back down into the Bering Sea. You've got 4,000 feet through the central Bering to 6,000 to 8,000 feet over the west central Aleutians. Icing threats up along the North Gulf Coast, mostly below about 11,000 feet there, and then kind of breaking up down the Panhandle there as the front weakens, and then some hit and miss areas of icing up here along the Alaska range. Icing free here for the remainder of the state, and then with that system coming into the west there, look for icing there for the Pribilofs extending down to the eastern Aleutians, and then that'll be shifting into the Alaska Peninsula and holding over the Pribilofs on Sunday. And from here, going to the winds aloft, hopefully, if I can get it to advance. There, whoa, went by it. Well, 9,000 feet, pretty good easterly flow here across the Gulf of Alaska up to 40 knots in toward the Kenai Peninsula, turning northeast at about 25 across Kodiak Island. Lighter, more variable here over the interior, high pressure out there over in eastern Norton Sound. Southwest flow around that could reach 30 knots across Point Hope and Cape Lisburne. Then south to north flow here coming into the eastern Aleutians, about 30 knots up toward the Pribilofs, lighter, more westerly out to the west. And at 3,000 feet, much the same pattern as we're seeing here. A little different on the wind speeds though. 25 to 35 knots along the North Gulf Coast, light and variable up over the interior. And southeasterlies 25 to 35 knots there from the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula up across the southeast Bering, including the Pribilofs. Westerlies 15 to 20 out over the Aleutians. And going on to the turbulence map, thank you. Moderate chop, mostly along and off the coast here tomorrow with light to isolated moderate chop, Cordova and across Prince William Sound, the Kenai Peninsula. Kodiak Island should stay pretty smooth for the Panhandle, and then light to isolated moderate chop here from the eastern Aleutians spreading up to the Alaska Peninsula. Occasional moderate chop possible below 68,000 feet for the Pribilofs, and then below about 5,000 feet up there for the western capes down into the Bering Strait. And after hangar flying, I'll be back with a look at the marine forecasts.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary O'Connor with the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. This evening, we are pleased to have Bryce Banning on our show. Welcome to Hangar Flying, Bryce.
Thank you.
Bryce is an aviation accident investigator with the National Transportation Safety Board in Fairbanks. He's in Anchorage today working on a special investigation report on a reporting system that pilots use. First of all, can you tell us, Bryce, what is an NTSB Special Investigation Report?
It's an information gathering effort, in this case concerning pilot reports, in support of a safety study. That it culminates in a report with a hope of safety recommendations and effecting change in the future.
So basically what you're going out and doing is fact-finding, compiling information, and publishing a report.
That's correct. And then in that report, we hope to have recommendations that will affect a change in the national airspace system.
Oh, great. So your report is going to be on something that you are looking at, the system where pilots report weather conditions, right?
That's correct.
So can you tell us what gets done with these reports? How are they used? What's done with them?
Well, a pilot report is a report of an aircraft in actual weather conditions, and that pilot report is typically initiated with the pilot and then given to ATC or flight service where it's disseminated throughout the NAS.
Okay, and by NAS you mean?
The National Airspace System.
So say a pilot gives a report on weather conditions, maybe visibility. Can you take us step by step? How does that work?
There's many different avenues that a pilot report can get into the system. Typically, he's going to issue that report through flight service or air traffic control. That report is then taken down, entered into a computer database, and then available to all types of different users who use that pilot report.
Okay. And why is the National Transportation Safety Board involved in this investigation?
The National Transportation Safety Board has investigated numerous accidents and incidents where deficient pilot reports were a factor in the investigation. And we've identified this, and so we're conducting a safety study to see if we can affect some type of positive change.
Okay, and by deficient PIREPs, what do you mean by that?
PIREPs that don't get into the system, PIREPs that don't have enough information to be useful, pilot reports that aren't transferred from any number of agencies to the agency that needs it. So we're looking at a top-down approach of all the users of PIREPs and how to get, number one, increase the quantity of PIREPs in the system, the quality of PIREPs in the system, and ensure that they get into the system and to the users that need them.
Oh, wow. So that's everything from encouraging pilots to give the information, give accurate and complete information, to the air traffic controllers, to however the information gets spread throughout the system and then used.
That's correct.
That sounds like a project.
It is.
And is the NTSB interested in this project because there were accidents in Alaska?
There are some accidents in Alaska that involved pilot reports, but we're looking at the NTSB works throughout the United States and even some foreign work, but we're particularly concentrating on PIREPs as they relate to the National Airspace System, so Alaska and the lower 48.
Okay. And I suppose Alaska is particularly important because we've got so much geographical area and so few reporting stations.
That's correct. PIREPs are particularly important and actually vitally important to the state of Alaska. We have large areas where we don't have reporting and we need these PIREPs into the system. And in addition, forecasters are using these PIREPs to verify their forecasts and improve the quality of products that are available to pilots.
So that can benefit pilots in several different ways.
Many ways that it can benefit pilots.
Okay, great. Bryce, thank you so much for your work on this initiative and for your efforts to improve aviation safety. We're glad to have you in Alaska.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to having you back on our next show where we learn more about PIREPs and the Special Investigation Report. On behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, thank you for watching Hangar Flying. If you are a pilot and can contribute to the available weather information for other pilots, please consider filing a pilot report the next time you go flying. And of course, always file a flight plan. Until next time, fly safely.
Welcome back. Well, southerly winds down here on the central and south coast from the south at 15 to 20 knots, and then southeasterlies up as high as 25 knots there for the north coast, so good for some small craft advisories. Inside waters there, northern Lynn Canal, southerlies at 20, diminishing in the afternoon. South winds at about 10 there for Stevens Passage, and Clarence Strait, winds becoming northwest, but only at about 10 knots with slight seas. And then for Sunday, looking not too bad. Still northwesterlies at about 10 there for Clarence Strait, and southerlies 10 to 15 knots for the central and northern inside waters. Southeast down to about 20 knots there. Otherwise, just some light breezes from the west there, the remainder of the coastline. And moving to Prince William Sound tomorrow, east winds at 20 knots. Southeasterlies at about 30 there for the North Gulf Coast to east here for the western coast. The northeast 25 for the Barrens, northwest 25 for the waters there along the east side of Kodiak Island. And northeast winds here, 15 knots north of the Forelands, picking up to about 20 knots south, and then 25 knots there for Kamishak Bay. And for the Sunday outlook, east winds 30 knots here for the North Gulf Coast, easterlies at about 20 for Prince William Sound. Northeasterlies 25 for the western North Gulf Coast across the Barren Islands, and northeast winds 15 to 20 knots here for all of Cook Inlet and the Kamishak Bay, and about 20 knots there for Shelikof Strait and the east side of Kodiak. For Bristol Bay, light variable winds tomorrow. It seas pretty slight, just about 2 feet. Northwesterlies at 15 to 5-foot seas southwest of Kodiak Island. And then the winds becoming southeast, picking up to 20 knots here for the Alaska Peninsula. And taking a look at Sunday, easterlies at 20 there southwest of Kodiak. Small craft advisories now for Bristol Bay, southeast 25 knots, and that'll extend all the way down the coastline there to Cape Sarachev, and on the Bering Sea, or on the Pacific side, southeast up to 30 knots. Shouldn't reach gale force. 30 knots should be a pretty good forecast at this point in time for that area. And going out to the Aleutians for tomorrow, it looks there are no gales anywhere along the Aleutians tomorrow. And let's see, beyond that, I can't remember what was on there. There we go. Southwest 15, not even close, barely even any small craft advisories for the Fox Islands from the southwest to southeast, and then northwesterlies 15 to 20 following in behind. And for Sunday, small craft advisories again for the eastern Aleutians, west northwesterlies 25 to 30 knots, southwest 15 to 20 for Adak and Atka, and light 15-knot winds all the way out to Shemya. And for the southwest coast, easterlies at 15 knots south of Nunivak Island, more southeasterly there on the north side. St. Lawrence Island, southerlies at 15, but the Pribilof seeing southeast winds at 30 knots. And taking a look at the outlook for Sunday, west 20 for the Pribilof, south to southeast 20 knots along the coast, east 20 for St. Lawrence Island. Up along the Arctic coast, looking light on the winds there, up to 25 knots though, so brisk wind advisories from Cape Thompson to Wales, and then about 20 knots there for Point Hope and Cape Lisburne. Same thing for the western coast. Westerlies 10 to 15 along the eastern stretch of the Beaufort Sea coastline there, and the central coast southwest at 15. And for Sunday, easterlies at 15, northeast winds at about 10 knots there for the central and east coast. For the west side, northeasterlies 15 to 20 knots all the way down to Wales. And taking a look at tonight again, we've got rain for the North Gulf Coast as that next system pushes northward up into the interior a little bit here, Prince William Sound up the west side of Cook Inlet, and then rain getting nudged into the southeast coast there as this low hangs back to the west a little bit. More rain spreading into the eastern Aleutians, and for tomorrow, that front weakens here along the southeast coast with some rain changing to showers, just showery and cooler over the southern areas, but still rain as this front right up along the coast tomorrow. It looks wet up along the North Gulf Coast. Scattered showers for south central Alaska. This system moves to and weakens as it moves to the Alaska Peninsula on Saturday, and then Sunday, rain for the peninsula there, wet over the Pribilofs, and some pretty good showers that move across the Tanana Valley tomorrow night, orient themselves north-south through the central interior. Have a great
These forecasts are to be used for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating. Alaska Weather is made possible by the following sponsors.
The National Weather Service.
Cook Inlet Tug and Barge, a marine transportation company specializing in harbor services focusing on the Port of Anchorage and the major commercial participants in the Cook Inlet region, providing customers with marine services specifically tailored to their needs.